Joining us now is Brian Stelter, former CNN host and the author of Hoax, currently a special correspondent for Vanity Fair, who was supposed to be covering the Fox News trial. But now, are you out of a job now as the Vanity Fair special correspondent?
You know, we're going to tape a podcast tomorrow, but I've found Fox is somehow always in the news for something.
Yes, this is true. This is true. Now, were you surprised by the settlement?
I was astonished by the number. I figured there would be a settlement because that's what happens in these cases. The lawyers for Dominion expertly tortured Fox in public, pushed them all the way up into a courtroom. The jury was seated, ready to go. That's exactly when you would expect a settlement. However, the dollar figure is jaw-dropping, even for Fox, which has $4 billion in the bank, which makes loads of profits thanks to Fox News. It is still amazing to see this company have to pay out more than $750 million. Even for Fox, that's a very big deal.
I would think that hundreds of millions of more is still worth it to Fox rather than having to give an on-air retraction.
And rather than having Rupert Murdoch testify.
That's for sure.
Those are the two big pieces they don't have to worry about now. Rupert Murdoch, he's 92 or something years old, just broke up with a woman he was going to get married to. Not having the best time of his life right now. Now he doesn't have to show up in Wilmington and talk about what went wrong at his network. Now he doesn't have to face that, and neither does Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity or any of the other stars.
Why did they let this get this far? I mean, you would think they could have potentially settled this many, many months ago, before all the really embarrassing stuff about Murdoch and Tucker and Hannity and all this stuff came out.
I've definitely noticed in 20 years covering Fox, there's a stubborn streak to Fox and to the Murdochs, and maybe that was a factor here. There's always a sense of defiance, of wanting to go and fight and do the battle, but in this case, the battle was simply not worth it. And I think Fox for weeks had sort of accepted they were going to have to pay something, that a jury was likely to find them guilty, especially after last week, the judge ruled setback after setback for Fox, shredded many of their potential defenses. Fox did not have many defenses left. Basically, it put Dominion in the best possible position to get as much money out of them as possible. And as you said, now this goes on to Smartmatic. Now this goes on to shareholder lawsuits. This is just the beginning for Fox in terms of how much it'll have to pay out as a result of the big lie.
So at the least, you get to cover that case now.
I guess I do. Well, and also 2020, what happened then, it's not over. This is what really bugs me now, Dan. The big lie is continuing. Donald Trump is continuing to claim he won in 2020 when he actually lost. He wants Fox to go ahead and repeat the lie with him. That idea that we've got media outlets that are pushing these fantasy narratives, that's not going away.
Well, let me ask you about that. I want to talk about Brian Stelter now, the media analyst. All right, you've made a lot of comments about Fox. You said you've been covering them for 20 years, right? I want to play a little bit of the things that you've said on air about Fox News. Let's play.
Fox has radicalized in the past few months. It's this radical form of culture war programming that has very, very little to do with actual conservative values. But the network evolved or devolved into the beating heart of the GOP, a heart with clogged arteries and weak muscles, full of rage, anger. It's the white lash on TV, this tug of war between the real journalists of Fox, who are mostly losing, and the propagandists, who are winning big time. The propaganda wins, the news loses.
You've written a book critical of Fox. You have a second book coming up on the way. Is it reasonable to question whether you could have been objective or can be objective covering Fox News?
You know, the way I approach it is I want to hear what's happening on the inside at the network. And that's why I talked to lots of sources there. That's why I was on the phone with the spokespeople for Fox earlier this week. And by the way, one of their main arguments is the ratings are still really high. That's true. Fox's audience has not abandoned the network, and I don't think that audience ever will. So I try to approach it as a reporter. Now, when we talk about propaganda, yes, that's more of a perspective on what they are doing. But I think what's most important is we have people out there reporting on what Fox is doing and analyzing what it's doing and hearing people on the inside. Because, you know, Dan, for years I had sources saying to me, this place is getting worse. The journalists can't stand it here anymore. Trump is winning and we're losing. And that was all anonymously sourced. It's kind of hard when it's anonymously sourced, but now it's on the record. We have all these emails and texts from the lawsuit saying all the same thing.
But is it fair, though, for people who are right of center, people who have watched your career, who've watched some of the things you've said, to say, come on, Stelter can't be objective when it comes to Fox News, covering a trial or covering Smartmatic or being a special correspondent?
I think we can debate tone. We can debate temperature, right? They can say raise the temperature or lower the temperature, raise the volume, lower the volume, but the facts are what the facts are, and that's the important part. Now, whether you like me or not, let's focus on what the facts are about Fox.
I want to ask you about leaving CNN. You recently, relatively recently, left CNN, and clearly they kind of pushed you out. as they announced they were.
I've embraced the F word, Dan. Fired.
You got fired. Why do you think you got fired?
I don't know.
Really? You really don't know?
I really, truly don't know. I know I had a popular show by CNN standards, and I know that it was pretty cheap to produce. But I also know every show gets canceled eventually. Sorry. Knock on table.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.